segment. That made it interesting.
Did it?
I had to find it.
Nice.
It wasn't too bad. That was a fun episode. It's not out yet. It'll be out tomorrow. I posted it this morning.
Sweet.
So
nice. You posted it this morning?
Mm-hmm.
Not Friday.
Yeah. Scheduled.
Oh.
Come on.
Posted it to be scheduled.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
You really think I posted at midnight every time?
No. But you said you posted it. Made it sound like it was already available to be viewed. Okay.
It's not available.
Right.
It's only available to me. And you, if you would log in.
I tried.
You could see everything. I forgot to check this. I have been seeing if it's been copyrighted because I just use CapCut, which is not my favorite. Because I eventually want to use something that, get our own sounds and stuff on there. So I meant to check if our last episode had a copyright on it.
Gotcha.
It doesn't say it. So for now, I'm probably just going to... I think it's because I've left the CapCut tag at the end, though, which is not my favorite thing to do. Let me check real quick. Because I think that's why it's been copyrighted every time. Because I usually take it off.
Gotcha.
I don't think it's just because I've been using the sounds. I think it's because I didn't leave that in there.
Gotcha. Well, you want to do the intro?
Hello.
We haven't done that yet.
Sure.
Hello.
Hey, welcome back to the Garden Podcast, where we cultivate our faith one verse at a time. We have a really fun trip coming up.
We do.
And let me see what you think about this. I've been thinking about posting on a different day.
No. I'm just kidding.
Okay, not much thinking.
Yeah.
By the way, what do you guys think about our lights? Boom.
A little more lightage.
I got blue on my side because blue's my favorite color, and you have green because that's just what it was on.
I have green because blue's my favorite color too.
I've been thinking about posting on a different day. I do like giving myself the most time to post the last episode, but if we won't have as much of a gap between when we talk about something, and I've been thinking about doing some kind of world news, just what's going on, only because a week is a long time.
It is,
and a lot can happen in a week, and so
I don't know. Happen in a moment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Blink of an eye.
Yeah. Suddenly you're a dad,
Mm-hmm.
which all my kids were planned. So, but I say that because there's a lot going on in Mexico right now.
There is, yes.
And it's not a matter of politics because I'm not going to make this a political segment, although we can talk about politics sometimes. But we have a friend of ours in our church who I called him 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago now. And I said, are you still planning on going to Mexico? Because he's been to Mexico plenty of times. His wife's family is from there.
Yeah, used to be a missionary there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So he's done a lot of work there, but with the world events happening, I was kind of worried about him.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I wish I could go with you and be your bodyguard, although I know nothing about Mexico.
Yeah,
I've never been yet, which is crazy. It's so kind of an easier trip.
Yeah, which he is actually Hispanic. So you being American, may actually paint a bigger target. So
maybe currently.
Just saying.
Like, what do you mean?
Do what?
Because of the event that happened?
Yeah, because of everything's going on.
Because that guy was supposed to come to America. What was his name? It was
El Mincho
or something like that.
Mincho, Nino.
And
that's a little kid. I don't know.
El Nino, yeah, that's children or something. Yeah, so I just called him and I was like, dude, I just heard on a podcast that there's like burning buses and stuff, and I saw a picture of a like a burning car.
Yeah.
Let me scoot this over a little bit. And he said, it's cleared up a little bit, but he said he's going to make his decision by today. Well, he told me yesterday, which was Wednesday, that he's not going.
Yeah, that's what he said last night at church.
I think he said his contact or the person he talked to said, let's wait till later in the month. And here's the craziest thing. He said the schools in the area that he's going to, or at least one of the areas, only let out school for one day.
Wow.
If something like that happened here, school would be let out for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how blessed are we that our government, say what you want about it,
Yeah.
but we're still pretty safe for now, but we definitely don't deal
Yeah.
with the cartel.
It's like you have a test tomorrow. I don't care if there's burning cars in the street. You will be here.
So, I mean, it's really not funny, but just
I know, but that's
just
crazy.
pray for them. Like I said, I'm glad we have a contact, our friend Sam, that goes over there, and yeah. So I'm gonna keep in contact with him. He appreciated that I called, and I was like, I was just worried about you. He's an older guy, so. By the way, I just realized we have one more light in the middle, but my camera's not really picking it up.
Yeah,
Anyways,
it's not going to today.
so we'll do more with that.
Maybe we could make my light blue. Then it could be my favorite color as well.
Do you want it to be blue?
I mean,
What is your favorite color?
blue.
We'll change it.
That's okay. It's okay.
Both of them were green though, and I was like, I know this is the garden podcast, but I don't want both of them to be green. But yeah, growing up, my brother's favorite color was green, and mine was blue.
Yeah,
but you can change it if you
my
want.
favorite color has been blue for a very long time.
Yeah.
And funny story. When I was sick and I was in the hospital, I was actually in a bit of a coma at one time. But I would talk and stuff like that. Okay, I don't remember any of it.
Dang.
And I wanted a bicycle. I remember asking for a bicycle way before that for Christmas. And while I was in the coma, my parents asked me what color I wanted. I told them red.
Yeah.
And I woke up and there was a red bike, and I was like, I asked for a blue bike.
And you don't remember it. That's
no,
crazy.
I don't remember it. Yeah.
Well, I think we've teased the testimony many times here that needs to come up pretty quick. That'll take, we'll take your time with that because, we got that trip coming up within the matter of not next week, but the next week, right?
Yep.
So it'll probably be a couple more weeks, unless you want to do your testimony next week.
Oh, we can do whatever. It doesn't matter.
Just we'll do it next week and just start with it. See how long we go.
All right.
I think it's one that we've teased for too long and definitely needs to be out there. Yeah. So, what do you want to start with? I know you got plenty of reels. I've seen you add a lot.
Stuff, yeah. How about we start with that?
Okay.
Why don't we do it? We'll start with something funny and lighthearted. Since this intro has been kind of long, it's just trying to get comfortable. Feels like it's been a minute since we've done this. It's weird.
I know, even though we recorded the episode that's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, which I really enjoyed because we talked a lot about scripture.
Yeah.
Talked a lot about the Bible, the good old word.
Word of God.
Sword of the Spirit. Sword of truth. Yeah. We also have a new segment. Just going to enjoy it. Do you have one yet? We might could do that while we're waiting.
Talking about the voice?
Yes.
I don't know if I have.
Don't have one? Let me see if I have one. Let me try to figure it out. You ever been in the middle of youth group? You have that one kid that's just annoying. Always talking. Never paying attention.
Yeah.
Then one day, the dodgeballs come out. And you see your opportunity. Without guilt or shame. You pelt them right in the face. That's what it's like to be a youth pastor.
That's good. I don't know if I can think of one that's better than that.
This is not a true story. Okay, so don't get on here.
Yeah, no,
tell me.
We would never pelt a
Ever.
kid in the face with a dodgeball.
No, never on purpose. No,
not I.
No,
me,
never.
I'm pretty patient when it comes to that one kid who never listens, even though you've been up for hours studying on this topic. But it's not personal.
Life.
Yeah. Okay, I do.
Reel?
I do have some that are in kind of long.
The very last one on there is the one I want you to watch today.
Okay, we'll start with that one. But I did put that Monster Energy drink video in here that you
saw that. Yeah.
Said you haven't seen. Did you watch it though?
I haven't. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I have seen it.
It's 2 minutes and 14 seconds, so we're not going to watch the whole thing. But let me see if I can. We'll watch yours first. Dang. The last 10 are yours. Okay. Golf videos?
Yes.
Let me do this. Actually, I don't think that's going to matter. I can put it over here So it won't pick up.
Yeah.
Won't pick up too bad in the microphone. Although I do have to hear it a little bit. Sorry. If you guys have any recommendations for a setup? Eventually, I would like fancy stuff.
All right, here we go. Here's the reel.
Get on the green while you at it, jeez.
Oh no. Oh.
I don't know how he missed the cat the first time.
I don't know. I guess he probably does what I do when I play golf.
Yeah.
I always pick my shoulders up. You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Honestly, could have been worse.
Yes.
But
Yep.
There's I don't know how people. I've done VR,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm still pretty aware of my surroundings.
Yeah.
And I just love watching older people get on there and they dive into the TV.
Yes, I've seen
I'm
that
like,
one.
come
Yeah.
on, dude. You got this like 65-inch TV and just
it's like you just get immersed, total immersion.
yeah.
If
I can't
you're in
afford to mess up like that.
No, yeah,
Because
no.
that TV's gone. Yeah, I'm not buying a 65-inch TV,
Yeah.
so there's no way I could buy another one.
Yeah. I was trying to play. My mom got one for her birthday, and I was trying to play it. And first time ever messing with it, and I was sitting on the couch, and my son was sitting next to me, and one scene went like that, and next to it, he hit him in the face.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's like, you can't sit next to somebody when they're playing.
No.
No.
Definitely get outside the area, especially that boxing game. Could you imagine
Yeah,
just like,
right.
oh, I'm gonna get you. You just like,
Yeah, but there's been videos of that, people boxing, people stepping away and get hit and
yeah.
everything. Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, let's watch this one.
All right, you got one?
No, this is yours, but
Which
I
one?
think I've seen this video. The explosive fart.
Yes,
During
that's a good one.
church.
Yes.
Let me back this up a little bit. I mean, is that real?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh my lord!
What? You got another one? Which one is that? That one I added?
I think so.
Oh yeah. No, you gotta back it up.
I mean, I saw.
Boom.
Hey.
You're like, what?
Like I did it.
Yeah. It's like you don't want to smoke.
Okay. I don't know if all these are gonna work, so I don't want to watch these back to back. If that one works, hopefully. But I've seen that church one before, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I wonder how often that happens, if it's real
Oh, it's gotta happen a lot. I know I've done it.
in a church like that, or just in church.
Just in church. Yeah.
Because you got to imagine some of those older, like Catholic,
Yeah.
just hardwood floor, and
Right.
they're made
Echoes,
to
the
echo.
acoustics. Yes.
It's made to echo
Be
the
awesome.
piano and stuff, or the
Yeah.
organ. And so I'm like, that'd be so embarrassing.
Yeah.
There's no way to hide that.
Yeah. Well, I hate the ones that you feel working up, and you're like, I was like, I think I can slip this one out and be silent. And you're like, and I was like, oh no, and everyone around you hears it, like they know. It's like,
Mm-hmm. Like, I see you.
yep,
I see you.
I'm sorry. Yeah, and it's like going to see a movie. Like you pay $100 now to see a movie. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And your stomach's rumbling. I don't want to get up and miss the movie.
No, dude.
So I'm just,
Yeah.
right there. And I'm sorry. It probably stinks. And I'm sure everybody else does it. Everybody, like, I can't believe you do that. You know, you do the same thing.
That's why I have no shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Terry learned with me real quick. She was like, man, Noah just doesn't care.
Yeah.
He'll just rip it.
Right.
I'm like, I mean, even before we got married, I
Yeah.
didn't care. It was like, if we can go into this marriage like this,
yeah.
then we'll be fine.
Well, true story. 2 weeks after Lindsay and I were dating, I pulled her aside, had a conversation with her. I said, look, we just need to have this conversation now before we go any further in this relationship. And I just need to let you know. I said, farting or passing gas if you don't like the F word.
Toot.
It's a part of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't like it, and if you have a problem with it, we need to address it now.
He's probably like, "What is he about to tell me?" And then you say that,
right? And I was serious as all get out. It was like, because my stomach be rumbling sometimes, and it hurts to hold it in.
Yeah.
But look,
well, we grew up on Shrek. You know what he said?
Yes, better out than in, I always say.
Mm-hmm. Like, I grew up on that.
Yeah.
So
what's the other one? It's better, at least it's coming out of the attic and not the basement. But usually mine are coming out of the basement.
So you don't really want it coming out of the attic, right?
Well, it'd be burping or belching.
Oh, but I was thinking throwing up for some reason.
No. Oh, I hate throwing up.
What would you rather? Would you rather someone burp or toot?
Probably. Depends on the smell.
We're getting too into
I know.
this.
We're getting into this.
We just lost Terry and Lindsay.
Everybody.
Terry said she's actually been watching.
I'm turning this off. Like
Terry said she's actually been watching these. I was like, really?
Yeah.
And now she's not.
Yeah.
I'll put a little disclaimer up there.
Yeah. Like I said, we're trying to get back in the rhythm of this, guys. It's taking a minute.
You can skip minute 16 to 17. Just, yeah.
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 All right, man.
You ever? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of one.
You got it. Come on.
I can't think of it. You ever been up preaching in front of your students and you rip a big old toot? You might be a youth pastor.
Wow. Yes. I've had to let some. Yeah.
While you're preaching,
I've had to.
You ever see me like just standing still for a minute?
That's what you're
It's
doing.
probably sneaking up on me.
It's like the baby that goes and hides in the corner. It's like, what are you doing? Nothing. It's like, are you pooping? Lindsay's sister, the sister right under her, used to go hide behind the recliner, and they knew she was behind the recliner. That's what she was doing.
I mean, at least she had a spot.
Yes, right.
Probably easy to potty train her, right?
Yeah, it might have been. I don't know.
Be like, instead of going here, going here. You know.
Yeah, right.
Oh man, potty training. You know,
that's rough.
Mm-hmm. You ever heard of someone potty training their newborn?
No. Potty training their newborn.
Yeah.
How does that work?
I don't know. They just hold their baby over the toilet.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I've heard people potty training their animals. Like they'll actually go to the toilet and use the toilet and everything.
Oh yeah, like Bruce Almighty.
Yeah. Yeah, it really happens.
Do you think that scene is what inspired Evan Almighty? Because he's like kind of taming the animal. And then like Evan Almighty is like a retelling of Noah. You know what I mean?
I would say that the story of Noah inspired
Yeah.
Evan Almighty.
No, I don't think so.
No.
It was Bruce Almighty. No, just what a crazy story though in the Bible. You know, what does it say that actually brought the animals?
God did.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what are we at? 18. Okay,
Yeah, we're struggling this morning. I'm sorry.
No, that was good.
But we got an awesome episode coming up soon.
Yes,
That's going to be very enjoyable.
yes.
We might even have our, if I can say it, have our other halves on here with us.
Some would say better halves.
I'm just kidding. My better half, yes, will be on here with us, and I'm gonna have a fun time. Going to talk about some crazy stories, and
well, you can talk about the trip. What is it?
Yeah, we're going to Nashville, good old Music City, whatever they call it, and
maybe we should find
kind
out.
of going to a conference there. Going to have some fun. Going to learn some things, and hopefully bring some good information back with us to apply here.
Yes.
So, but it's going to be a good time. But while we're in Nashville, we're going to record an episode, and hopefully that episode is good. It might cause a fight. I don't know. Sometimes that happens when your other half, or excuse me, your better half, is with you. It just happens.
Never.
Ever. And if you say that you never fight, husband and wife never fight, you're lying.
So you're either lying or you're not married.
Yeah, that's true. It's like dating. Like, we've never had a fight.
Oh,
Never in our lives.
so cute.
It's like, well, wait till you get married. Wait till you say I do. When there's no walking out. There's no backing down.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely not. We see too much of that.
Yes, we
Too
do.
much of giving up. My youth pastor used to say, if divorce is in your conversation, then it's a something you'll use eventually.
Right.
Yeah, like that'll be something you act on,
Yeah.
or more likely to.
Right.
And so, not to get super serious, but there's
No,
it just
it's
happens.
true.
It just happens too much.
It happens way too much.
I talk to a lot of kids in the junior high that I go visit when I teach, and one of the things I ask them is it's an activity where they stand up, and I say, move to this side of the room if you would like to get married, and there's so many of them who don't move.
Yeah.
I'm like, even at their age, they're like doubting marriage.
Right.
And it used to be back then, like just when I was a kid, I always wanted to have a family. And I don't know, I think it's crazy how marriage has become just something that's not taken as seriously as before.
Right.
But,
Most definitely. Yeah. It's definitely something you think about. It's the first covenant in the Bible. Well, you have Adam and God, then you have Adam and Eve coming together.
Mhm.
And so that's what the enemy attacks.
Yep.
He attacks the union. He attacks the covenant between man and wife, wants to tear it apart.
Yeah.
Because when you have a godly union, what does that produce? Produces godly children.
Mhm.
It produces a godly atmosphere. It produces so many things. And if the enemy can tear that apart, he can tear apart so much
Mhm.
or cause dysfunction.
Yeah, and we finished up our dating series this month last night, and one of the students brought up being fruitful and multiplying. And I just told him, I was like, yes, that verse does have more to do with more than just your kids, because it's not being fruitful by producing kids who aren't in church.
Right.
The Lord wants you to raise them up in the way that they should go. Raise
Right.
raise them up in the wisdom of the church.
Well, the Bible talks about children as being arrows in the quiver,
Mm-hmm.
basically. So what that means is arrows in your pouch, I think, or quiver, whatever, that pouch that carries the arrows. And what does an arrow do? What does a good arrow do? It shoots straight.
Mm-hmm.
It's been crafted. It's been the little feathers on the end have been placed, and when you shoot it, you want it to shoot straight and hit its mark.
Yeah.
So having children isn't just having an abundance of arrows in your quiver.
Right.
It's having those arrows that are gonna live the right life, that are gonna trust God, that are gonna shoot straight and hit their mark where
Yeah.
they need to go.
Yeah.
And who's firing the arrow? The parent.
Mm-hmm.
So as a parent, it is our duty to take those children and to help them and give them the life skills that they need to show them the Word of God, to show them a godly example of Christian life.
Yeah, the way I've heard that verse is it's supposed to be more of like a sequence rather than just be fruitful and multiply.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be fruitful and then multiply. So the Lord wants you to be fruitful in your own life.
Yeah.
What I see happens a lot is, young men will go out and just date and be with someone and do married people things before they get married, and then they break it off, and now suddenly you're struggling. And really, that's not being fruitful. The Bible doesn't really talk about dating,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if I mentioned this on an episode yet, but there's a reason it doesn't talk about dating is because they had culturally arranged marriages.
Right.
Say what you want about that. It wasn't weird back then. It still happens today, not necessarily in America, but around the world. They had arranged marriages, and so the Bible talks more about holy living,
Yeah.
not necessarily dating. Now, today, in the context of dating, you should do it in a holy way,
Right.
which holy means set apart.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to date differently than the world.
Right.
Don't do what the world is doing. Do what God would approve of, And I had this thought the other day of, I want to live my life doing things that God would approve.
Right.
Now, does
Yeah.
God approve of you? Yes. If you are saved, He has approved of you. He's proud of you. He loves you, but He doesn't like everything you do.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't like everything I do.
Exactly. And so there's some things, some attitudes, some things you say where it's like, I don't think God would approve of that. So you want to, in every way possible and with God's help, do something a holy Christian would do,
Right.
or a holy God would do.
Yeah.
The God of the universe,
Mhm.
like what would Jesus do? Literally that thing that's now become cliche.
WWJD.
Yeah, it's still a good saying. Is like, what would Jesus do?
Yep.
Now I know Jesus didn't get married.
I saw a church sign. Okay, sorry, change it. Funny.
No, you're good.
No, you ever see the crazy church signs and stuff that it says, It says WWJD. What would Jesus do? It says he wouldn't be cooking meth. This is on a church sign. So I'm guessing that.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah, it is.
It's true.
I guess in that area they had a meth problem.
Yeah, I bet it was like inner city. I mean,
Probably.
somewhere in
Probably Little Rock.
Nashville. No,
Yeah.
it doesn't say somewhere in Little Rock
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Oh gosh, but yeah, just promote holy living.
Yeah.
I mean, why is that such a, and I know why. It's like it's
Yeah.
hard to do.
It is.
Yeah.
We want so badly to continue in our own devices, our own things, our own. And the thing is, where we get caught up is if you have to question if this is sin or not, you probably shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
If I have to question, the goal is not to get so close to it that I have to question, is God okay with this? The goal is to live your life in a manner, in a way that you don't even have to ask that question. Like you're talking about living holy lives, living set apart.
Mm-hmm.
So if I ever approach something, and none of us are perfect, we all stumble, but if I ever approach something and I have to ask, like, is this sin? I really need to question my motives behind it, why I'm doing this, what I'm doing, and really realize the benefit of it.
Yeah.
Because usually there isn't one.
Yeah. Usually, or I was going to say the goal is to get closer to God to where you don't even have to question what you're doing. And sometimes there's I think one major sin every person struggles with. And so the goal isn't to act perfect and then approach God. It's just to move towards him.
Right.
The Bible says to strive towards perfection.
Mm.
And I see that as striving towards Jesus because he's perfect.
Yeah. Well, what I've found is like you just said, the closer you get to God, the easier it is to turn away from things, the easier it is to put things down.
Yeah.
And the better your life is. So many people, they're scared. And I say so many people, I was this way too at a time. But you don't want to turn away from those things in your past or that sin, because in the moment it is pleasurable.
Mm-hmm.
In the moment you like what you're doing. And to turn away from that, which is repentance, to turn away from it and walk toward the Lord means that you're leaving all that.
Mm-hmm.
And of course it ends up better. It has ended up better, but it's just a hard place for, like I said, I get it, because so many people live their life in that. And that's all they know.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take an addict, for instance. The reason a lot of the reason they are doing what they're doing is to get away from pain, is to numb it, and to do all that. So trading that for Christ, and some people it happens just like that. But I see the difficulty, I guess.
Yeah, and that's probably why, like, a lot of people, they just rather not try to go to church.
Yeah,
is this word judgmental gets thrown around a lot, but that does happen. Of course, we have to define what the word judgment means,
right?
But everyone kind of has their own vice.
Yes.
Just because you're in the church doesn't make you better than someone.
Right.
You probably have some kind of comfort, whether you probably go home and eat too much when you're stressed out after preaching. Right. I'll admit I've done that. Tired.
Yeah.
I didn't eat at church, so it's 10 o'clock, and I'm eating. I'm no better than the addict.
Yeah.
They need help. I need help too. We all need Jesus. And so I just approach it like that. Not that I'm always perfect.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to do a series on forgiveness.
Yeah.
Just forgiveness, because this is a word that is so, just been so real to me lately.
Yeah.
And
Same here.
Just, I don't know, it seems the older I get, it's like, why should we hold on to these things?
Yep.
Why should I, and I've had some hurt in friendships within the last few years.
I'm sorry I hurt you.
We're still friends. No, and I'm thinking of someone specific.
I got you.
Obviously can't say names or anything, but it's people I would still consider my friends.
Yeah.
But just kind of been cut off. But instead of just dwelling on it, I'm ready to accept them with open arms.
Right.
Because I don't think I did anything to really offend them. But just something's going on. So just that situation, the older I get, there's no point in me pointing fingers. Because
Right.
I know what I deserve,
Hmm.
and definitely what I don't deserve.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah. Well, I feel like I said, I've gone through some of the same thing. Like I said, I had really close friends, and in the same way, like I said, I won't say names, but feel like they just kind of abandoned me,
mm,
So, I mean, I get that. I feel that.
yeah.
And it's funny to bring up forgiveness because that's really, like I said, for a while now, really been on my mind
Mm-hmm.
because unforgiveness is a foothold for the enemy. It
Mm-hmm.
is. So, really been praying and working on because even though you ask to forgive somebody, even though you want to me, it's a process because it's a working out in your life and your heart. So I pray, Lord, let me forgive them.
Yeah.
Lord, help me to forgive and not just say the words, but really move on from it and not bother me anymore.
Right. Like, I really want to mean it.
Yes.
You can tell the Lord that, like, Lord, I don't know how,
Yeah.
but I do want to mean this. It's going to have to be you
Right.
teaching me. And that's just what the Lord does. He teaches you through situations.
Yes, it does.
And I think we kind of alluded to that with our episode that'll come out tomorrow. We talk about Job. Of course, we're kind of focusing more on persecution and suffering.
Yeah.
But I think a part of my next series is going to be focused mainly on offense.
Yeah.
And not a white picket fence.
Yeah.
But
Right.
being offended.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be funny? A good object lesson, bringing a fence.
I actually literally thought about calling
Yeah.
it a fence.
Yeah.
And I don't know, playing on words a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could do that.
I preached on that in youth when I was youth pastor, and I used Saul and David, how Saul picked up the offense, and I used the scripture where he picked up the spear and hurled it at David.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just played on that that he had a choice to pick up that offense toward David, and he picked up the spear, and I just kind of used that comparison.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
It'd be funny to bring a spear in
Yeah.
and be like, can I have a volunteer?
Yes. Just hurl it across the room.
I need someone to be David real quick.
Yeah.
Just stay where you're at, actually.
Bring a dodgeball. Yes.
That would be good. Let's act like this is a spear.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to hit you. Just stay still.
Yeah. Yeah. Just look right here. Right here.
But no, the reason I thought about calling it a fence is because 1 week will be on offense, being offended. The next week will be on riding the fence.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I don't know if I'll do that because I think I just want to spend a whole month on being offended.
Yeah.
Because I'll admit, like, it just happens in church.
Yeah.
People get offended.
Yes, they do. That's where church hurt comes from, usually.
So
Not always.
this
but
year,
usually.
I want to be more practical about what I'm speaking about.
Yeah.
And like I said, we did the dating series because the students asked for it.
Yeah.
And I said, well, y'all asked for this, so we're going to get into it.
Yeah.
And it's been good. It was a good series, good conversation, rather interesting
I bet.
conversation last night. Because generally what I try to do is the last week of every month, we do groups. So we'll split the boys and girls up.
Right.
And we'll do groups. And it started off pretty wild.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Which is rightfully so, because it's just some things that they struggle with in school. Just the topic of the day. But yeah, I think I'm going to do one on just being offended. There's even a lot that goes on, just the things I notice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's probably time to focus on this one,
Right.
this one topic. I want to get practical this year because, just with the things that we struggle with as people.
Yeah, right.
And if they can learn it now, it can make it a little bit easier later on. But sometimes you just don't learn these things until you're out of youth group.
Yeah.
And what we're doing is preparing them, praying for them over in the altars, and just being like, Lord, I just want them to trust you.
Yeah.
There's going to be something that tests them in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
yeah. Well, let's say there's a part of your brain that doesn't fully develop until you're like 25.
Mm-hmm.
So you got it. You keep that in mind when you're teaching students or younger people. That like I can look back on my life and oh my goodness, stuff I did, stuff I said, stuff I thought I knew, and it's just like I didn't know nothing.
Yeah,
I thought I did, but no.
Yeah,
but yeah, there's a piece in your brain or part of your brain isn't developed until around 25.
Yep.
Yeah. So to think that you're out there making decisions and and things when your brain isn't even fully developed, it's just crazy to think.
You ever gone back and just watched an old video of yourself?
Yes.
And you're like, what a squeaker, bro.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I sounded like that.
Yeah, it's horrible. And stuff. I'll go back and watch some of my really old sermons, and at the time I was like, "Man, this is fire." And
Oh
now I go back and
yeah,
watch. I'm like,
the
"What
Lord's
were you
cooking,
even
bro.
saying?" Like, ugh.
That's so true too. Because
Yeah,
I do feel. What's crazy is I do feel wiser and better than before. But then I'm like, another 10 years from now, I'm hoping like I can look back and be like, what was I doing?
yeah,
It's like every 5 to 10 years, you just learn more.
yeah,
And so it's crazy that the first time I was a youth pastor, I wasn't like really studying
yeah,
and I had way more time too. And if I was full time youth pastor now, I would know how to utilize that time.
yeah,
But gosh, I was 21.
yeah. Right.
Like biblically, what I've learned recently is a podcast with Francis Chan. He mentions this really cool study that he did on the 30-year-olds who just become Jewish teachers.
Mhm.
When they turned 50, suddenly their only job was to pray over and teach the 25-year-olds,
Yeah,
like the young children or whatever language it says, but it means the young adults. And so kind of like what you're doing now is trying to just bring together some young adults because
right.
you know that you struggle as a teenager,
Yes.
but sometimes that struggle carries over into 20 to 25, maybe even 30 years old. Some people struggle with singleness and don't really know like
Mhm.
when you think your worth comes from dating and everybody around you is getting married at 20 years old and
Yeah, seriously.
so just a lot of those things. But I'm like, what a concept though. Is that still working?
What?
Is that still like going?
It is. I was looking up something.
Oh, cool. I didn't know you were able to do that. But basically, what a concept like that God knew that the 50-year-olds should just focus on the young adults.
Yeah.
Because I think it was literally at the age of 25 is what I would think practically when they're about to move into being a Pharisee or a teacher
Mhm.
of the law, because you can become a teacher of the law until you were 30.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, man, they had some numbers figured out there
Mhm.
because like
Yeah.
we have, and I was just talking to someone about this. I think last night they just mentioned something, and maybe it was a couple of days ago, but we used to think that like young youth pastors who are hip
Yeah.
and aware of the trends and is the one who's going to grow the youth group.
Right.
But really, I'm like, I see my mom, like she's been a youth pastor for years now.
Yeah.
And from like the age of 40 something to, however old she is now, I'm not going to mention it. And so that's like she's learned some things,
Right.
seen some things.
Yeah.
That's the person who's hip.
Yeah.
And my mom's the coolest person in the world. So
Farmers.
do what?
Yeah. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
Yeah, it's so true though. I'm like, why is it the fresh? And typically you want someone to go to college and learn some stuff,
Right.
but you really don't know things until you know them,
Right.
until you go through them.
That's right.
And you're like, how do I teach on a topic? Like if you have a single youth pastor, how does he teach on marriage?
Right.
How does he teach on dating when he's still
Yeah.
dating?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I
Mhm.
know our culture is different, but there's just something to that.
Yeah.
Well,
I think too, like what you're saying, you get these hip pastors, youth pastors, whatever position it is, and you get the one that looks the part. But my thing is, okay, are they acting out and living the part in their life? Is it a behind closed doors? How are they living their life? Because
Right.
I mean, they can wear, like, I hate to say it, I wore skinny jeans at one time, and I look back at my life and I question my decisions.
I don't regret it.
I do. It looks horrible. You ever seen a bulldog standing up on its hind legs? That's what I looked like. Yeah, it was horrible. But
Like a chicken teaching the word.
yeah. But just because somebody looks good, just because somebody sounds good, doesn't mean that they're preaching biblically.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they're speaking truth. It doesn't mean that they have the anointing, that they are walking with under the direction of the Holy Spirit. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
What exemplifies that is how you live your life.
Mhm.
Exemplifies that is how much you rely on Jesus, how much you lean on him and not on yourself. And I think our culture today is in a big, well, I would say, deception of people that are just like I mean, the Bible talks about it. Just listening to people who are just telling them what they want.
Mhm.
What is it? Itching ears or something like
Yep.
that. I had to find the scripture, but our culture today is so much like that, especially in America. That they just hear what they want to hear. They don't call sin sin. They pick and choose what they want to hear out of the Bible, and they twist it to their own misguided mentality of it.
Mhm. And that's a good point too, because I just learned something this morning, based on the Old Testament. Is a lot of people have a problem with tithing,
Yeah.
and even our concept of tithing, like, it's actually worse than you think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because culturally, and I can't remember all the things, but it was a Zoom call I was on this morning with a Bible teacher. Simply put, I mean, he's more than that, but he said that tithing in the Old Testament wasn't just 10%. And it was actually, because we do that now because the word tithe means 10% or something
Right.
like that. But back then, what it actually was more than that. It was probably more like, he said something like 23.75%, because 10% would go to the priest. That's the only thing we tithe today, is just to go to the priest so they can live.
Mm-hmm.
Another 10% actually goes to your own family. And then another 10% over the course of 3 years goes to the poor. And so that's actually like 30%.
Yeah.
And his point was, some of the tithe was sent to, because we hear that word tithe and we automatically think, oh, 10% goes to the church, when really it was more than that.
Yeah.
Some of it was saved to travel to the feasts when there was festivals going on. And so you got a problem with 10%, you might just have a heart issue.
Right.
And I try to give more than that. It's not a legalistic thing. When we say tithe, like 10% is the bare minimum.
Right.
And not even that, like in the Old Testament, the bare minimum was like 30.
Yeah.
Now, some of it went to you and some of it went to the priest.
Yeah.
So
The way I look at it is tithing is a good principle. It's where you start.
Yes.
It's not the what is it, the peak of what you do. It's because 100% of what you make is God's.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
100% of what your hands do, if it done unto the Lord,
He owns the
is
cattle.
God's.
Owns the cattle.
Owns
On
cattle,
1,000 hills
hills.
and the hills.
Yes. And the hills that the cattle graze. Yes. Yeah. So that's the way I look at it is, and I think too, that's why Paul tells the believers, he says, look, he said, decide in your heart what you're going to give, and give that.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't put a number on it. He doesn't put a percentage.
Yeah.
He says, decide in your heart.
Yeah.
So
if that's good. That's why we can't become legalistic. But based on what you were saying earlier about what were we saying? Something about the people learning and whatever. There's not really an age on it, because living one way. Jesus said that to the Pharisees. They weren't just young guys.
Yeah.
You have to learn that just as soon as you can. Because like I said, when I was a youth pastor the first time, it's not like I was living wrong. Like, I was doing things, but I definitely wasn't giving God the time that I should have.
Right.
And like I am now, and even now, there's always things we can improve on.
Yeah.
Not to say that it makes you better or whatever, but I definitely feel wiser than before.
Right.
You know what I mean? And to look back and be like, oh my gosh, I wasted so much time. I had a whole week where our church hours were like 9 to 3. Like, so much I could be doing. And the Lord's taught me a lot in that.
Yeah.
That could be a whole testimony and a half, because I'm not sure what I would mention publicly, but
well, that's grace, man. I mean, really, in a nutshell, because I feel like so many of us have had that same thought, is that, man, I've just been wasting time. Man, I've just thrown all this away, and it gets down to it. Yeah, you could have been doing something with that time. I mean, we all could have, But grace is such an amazing thing because I can look back at my life and say, man, I wasted that time. And God can look at me and say, but you're here now.
Yeah.
So that's an awesome thing to think of.
Yeah. Just get back on board.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I tell people, like, I don't live in regret.
Yeah.
Are there things I would change? Sure. But there's no point.
Right.
I can't go back. So speaking of timing and the Lord.
Yes.
Okay. This was another topic we talked about in my Zoom call this morning.
Yeah.
And I kind of prefaced this to you earlier is what does God look like physically? But the question is going to lead into God doesn't just fit into our mold.
Right.
He doesn't fit into our understanding. Even when we read the word, he's written in a way to help us understand him more.
Mm-hmm.
But he's never going to fit in your timeline, in your understanding of him.
Right.
Because he's always going to be bigger, always going to be better. His ways and his understanding is always going to be higher. And so I'll give you a couple of examples. Is, the the word we use is anthropomorphism
Mm-hmm.
when describing God in the Bible. And one of the times is God is walking away from Moses and he sees the back of God. Well, God doesn't technically have a back,
Mm-hmm.
but some kind of glory was shown to Moses that he could only handle that little piece. And even that little bit from God left light shining on Moses' face when he came down from the mountain.
Right.
And so when we read that story, it's like it just helps us understand, like, physically what was happening there.
Yeah.
When really it's so much bigger than we can understand. What was my other example? Another example, and I'll open the word on this one to Genesis 18 and 19. And I just thought this was a really good topic. That usually these Zoom calls are just an hour, and we spent the whole time talking about it.
Yeah.
And so it's briefly, I'm not going to read 2 chapters, but I would if you want me to. Just kidding. Let's see. So somewhere towards the end of 18, verses 22 through the rest of that, which is somewhere in the 30s, 33, I think. And so what's happening here is the city of Sodom, where God comes to Abraham and he's asking him, like, who's righteous? And, if there is, Abraham asks, if there's 50 people that are righteous, will you spare the city? And God's like, yeah, if there's 50. And then he dwindles his number down. How low does he get? Like,
I think 10 or
10?
5. Yeah.
I think I see the number 5 in here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not necessarily focusing on the story. I'm focusing on, like, the presence of God.
Mm-hmm.
Because the one question a lady in the group asked was, why was God standing with Abraham and a couple angels? I think she said something about angels. And then when the angels come to visit Lot in the city, God's not with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, simply put, is like possibly God was still talking to Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, he's God. He's everywhere.
Right.
Which is kind of a trippy thought too, is like I don't know I'm trying to lead into this to where it doesn't sound too crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But even, let me talk about this first, is that possibly the 2 angels that were with Lot, that word translates to messenger. And so we don't actually see the description of angels in that part like we would another part of the Bible.
Yeah.
There's not like eyeballs and wings and stuff, like what a biblically accurate angel would look like.
Yeah.
And so Lot, another point he made was Lot was just kind of like, oh, hey, what's up? Like, he didn't bow down, he wasn't freaked out, because usually when an angel visits someone, they're like, do not be afraid.
Yeah.
Lot was just kind of like, it says,
What chapter is that?
The one I'm looking at right now is Genesis 19. It says the 2 angels, just starting in verse 1, the 2 angels came to Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gate of Sodom. When Lot saw them, he rose to meet them. Oh, it does say he bowed himself. He bowed himself with his face to the earth and said, "My lords, please turn aside to your servant's house and spend the night and wash your feet. Then you may rise up and go on your way." They said, "No, we'll just spend the night in the town square." So, but there's not really like fear.
Yeah.
And so I'm not like trying to challenge like
Mhm.
what they looked like or whatever. My point here is that God is speaking with Abraham, and he doesn't seem to go into Sodom.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we say that God is omnipresent, and he is. But the point that this guy was making on the call was that even when we try to explain God in that way, like God is omnipresent,
Mm-hmm.
omniscient, and omnipotent.
Yeah.
And it's like even that is limiting God.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily limiting as it is our own means of describing him.
Yeah.
And our own means of describing will never touch who he is
Mm-hmm.
and what he's capable of.
Yeah.
So when you say omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, that's just our own description of what little bit of understanding we have of God.
Right.
So I don't think it's limiting as it is. It's just our way of being able to describe him.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and I wouldn't say it's like limiting God.
Yeah.
We just try to come up kind of the best way that we can to explain
Mm-hmm.
to make sense for our timeline.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole worlds that have existed, timelines and history before me and you ever
Right.
touched this earth, and to try to make sense of all that is like,
yeah, right.
It takes a God to do that.
Yes, it does.
And so I don't know. I just thought that was interesting
Yeah.
because he also mentioned like even when we say something like the Trinity, there's several denominations that struggle with this.
Right.
And I'm like, I think the Trinity is the best description of like how the Godhead, the Son, and the Holy Spirit exist
Right.
with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, we could get to heaven and be like, oh,
yeah, right.
This is really what it means. And I
Yeah.
do think the Assemblies of God portrays it accurately. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But he's not limited to our descriptions.
Right.
Right.
Well, I mean, you think about it. God, in sense, is not a figure, I guess, and not like a human being as we would think. So when we describe God, okay, a lot of times we associate, or he allows, just like not Abraham. You said Moses saw his back. Maybe that's God's way of allowing what we could understand to see.
Yeah.
So another thought is, I've thought this and researched this too, is that right there, I can't remember if it says it, but it says usually when God appears in the Old Testament, it is presented as the angel of the Lord or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
some people think that's pre-incarnate Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was going to get to that.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
My bad.
Reading and looking at that, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, who better to be the mouthpiece than the literal word, because it talks about that. It describes, if you go to Daniel, and there's argument over this too, but the angel that appeared to Daniel is described the same exact way as Jesus is described in Revelation by John.
Okay.
So you have that, and you have the other instances, and in other instances, the angel of the Lord accept worship. So angels don't accept worship; only God is worshipped.
Yeah.
So there's that idea.
I mean, angels know better than to, because every other time, the angel would be like, no, don't get up, don't bow down to me.
Right.
So
that's just a thought. Like I said, it needs a little more research, but like I said, if you look at it, you kind of see little pieces like, okay, maybe this is Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And he said, like I said, Jesus says, before Abraham was, I am. He says, I can't think of the verse right now, but anyway, yeah.
I have I am tattooed on my wrist.
Yeah.
That one hurt.
Yeah, I bet. It's tender.
Tendons.
Yeah.
Well, we can wrap it up, but yeah, that's a really interesting point. I'll make this is my last point is what does God look like? We can never fully make sense of that. If you can make sense of your God,
Yeah. And by the way,
He's not God.
Yes. By the way, my iPhone storage just is full, so you're only going to have your video.
Oh, like just now or how
Yeah,
long?
Just now.
Okay. Well, I'll finish out just whatever I'm saying. But basically, what does God look like? Don't focus so much on his face, but we are made in God's image.
Yes.
You know, it's like, well, how am I made as an image when I don't know what he looks like? You're supposed to act like him and be like Jesus.
Yeah, it's his attributes and character. Yeah.
That's the way you're supposed to look like him. We may never physically know what he looks like until we get to heaven. And I'm fine with not knowing.
Yeah.
That was actually another one of the points that he made too, is like, we need to be okay with just not knowing some things.
Yeah.
God can't be explained. Not everything about him can be explained. Although there's a lot we can know, because I said that on the Zoom call. There's a lot that we can know. But if we could explain everything, then he's not God.
Yeah.
You know. So,
Right.
Okay, we'll go and wrap it up since your phone is booty.
Yeah.
So thank you for sticking with us past the fart segment.
Yes.
Hopefully those reels work for you.
If you're still here.
If you're still here. All right. See you guys.
See ya.
Peace.